think we've got the glitch out of the way. So while you guys are tuning in, tell me what has been the best part of your weekend. What was the best part of your weekend? What was the best part of your weekend? Hey, Carla. Apologize, folks, for the delay. We've just had a little bit of an issue. We've had to reboot twice. We're not sure why. Could be an internal computer issue. Could be a something else issue. So, guys, hopefully you're joining us. Hop back on. Hey, Dawn, how you doing? Carla, Brittany. Hey, Brittany. Brittany, my daughter. My favorite daughter. Church was your favorite part. Awesome. Got to help your daughter get prom. Oh, that's very cool. I remember I got to do that once. That's very cool. Hey, April. Hey, Jeff. Shannon. We're going to get started here in just a minute. Share this with your friends, guys, if you want them to hop on. I've got a pretty poignant message for today. So share this, like this with your friends, and get them to come on over. Go ahead and share and like now would be a good thing. Brother Glenn, are you watching, Glenn? There he is. Glenn, I tell you, I am loving the show The Resident. I have been watching it. Well, I've watched every episode now, and I love the show, and I love your part on it. It's a great show, great part. I was so bummed that I missed Matt. He's one of my favorite actors. I loved him from The Good Wife, and love him on. Man, this is a great show for him. I think it's great. So it was awesome to see him at class the other day. Congratulations! It looked like a great class. So if you guys haven't watched The Resident, it's on Fox Monday nights, I believe. You want to check out my buddy Glenn Morshower right there on Facebook. You want to check that show out. He's been in Black Hawk Down, Air Force One, Moneyball, West Wing, 24. He was Aaron Pierce on the show 24. Very well known, very well respected in the industry. But he holds an acting class once a week, well, twice a week on Fridays in LA. And he brought in one of his co-stars from the show The Resident. If you haven't watched it, check out The Resident. It is great. It is. Wow, he stayed the entire night. Man, of course I missed it. Oh man, he's one of my faves. So, but thank you for sharing that, brother. Guys, we have, maybe you're hopping on. Hey, Rick Samuelson, Bobby Joe. Guys, we have some really cool things happening. I mean, there's some really cool things happening with people. I've got some people that are like launching new businesses in the Entrepreneur Association. I've got people in the Next Level family that are really changing the way they live their lives. Some of them are just really exploding. Some of them are really focusing on minimalism and just really, focusing their life on just creating a great life for them and their families. Guys, I'm telling you, there's some really cool things happening amidst all the chaos that we see in the media and things like that. And one of the cool things for me has been able to really look at how I engage with people. There's a lot of talk about how do you engage with people. In the group coaching call that we do every Wednesday morning for members, and the Next Level by Association evening that I host once a month. We did last week. Last week we had the guy from Chips, Larry Wilcox. He was one of the co-stars, him and Erica Estrada. And Larry Wilcox came and just shared his life story and just laid it all out on the table. Good, bad, and the ugly. And it was really, really cool. What a great time we had with him last week. It was a blast. And whenever we get people, quality people like Glenn Morshower, or when we get people like Larry or Azim Kamisa or Larry Broughton, any of these guys, when we get them, or Steve Stelf Miller, he's a former guest of honor. He's been there a couple of times. Amazing guy. Glenn, I would love that. Absolutely. Let's do that. Love to do that. Guys, I'm excited. I was watching one of my favorite shows on television, beside The Resident now, is the show Designated Survivor with Glenn's buddy Kiefer Sutherland. And it's just one of my favorite shows. I've loved it since the first show. And I find interesting comments in there. And I got to tell you this comment, because this is the pillar for this week. Kiefer Sutherland, who plays President Tom Kirkman, he's kind of taken over the office in a disarray, and he's caught in the crossfire. He's constantly being challenged, constantly being, they're constantly lying about him and saying false narratives about him, spreading false narratives. But one of the things, he was with a couple of his cabinet people, or a couple of his staff actually, and he was like, well, we're not going to do that, and we're not going to do that, and we're not going to do that. Here's the key statement that I loved what he said. They said, your enemies are not showing scruples. Why should you? And President Kirkman said, because I'm the president and I respect the office. Whew. Folks, there's a lot of times, I don't know about you, but there's been a lot of times when my ugly head has reared its head. I mean, there's been times when I've lashed back out. When somebody's attacked me, I've gone after them. When somebody's fought dirty, I'd love to say that I've never fought dirty, but there's probably been times I've fought dirty. And watching that show just reminded me of another story. A very dear friend of mine who came from had a challenging family. I would like to say dysfunctional, but I find very few functional families. Most of them are dysfunctional. But she told me one day that she made a commitment. We were working together and doing some work, and she said, Bob, I just have to make a commitment to be the daughter I'm supposed to be, and parent in spite of the parents I have. I've decided that I'm going to be the daughter I'm supposed to be in spite of the parents I have. And I remember that struck me so strongly. And it just goes with this. It's like, are you treating them nice because they're treating you nice? Are you treating them fair because they're treating you fair? Are you being kind to them because they're being kind to you? That doesn't take much effort. Now let me before you guys go get in tizzy on this, I know it does take some effort. But what really takes effort is being nice to somebody who's not being nice to you. To being not kind when somebody's not being kind to you. To be generous when somebody's being stingy. To extend grace when somebody's just spreading false accusations. Now, look, I'm not saying become a doormat. I'm not saying to let them walk all over you. I'm not saying to ignore. What I'm saying is there is this thing called grace. And the realization that I came to many, many years ago, if God, who is all perfect, can extend grace to me who's completely imperfect, then surely an imperfect being can extend grace to another imperfect being. Let me say that again. If God, who is perfect, can extend, regardless how you view God, if God is all perfect and he can extend grace to an imperfect being, then surely an imperfect being can extend grace to another imperfect being. Guys, I loved it. This comment that Tom Kirkman said, or he's played by Kiefer Sutherland on the show Designated Survivor. I love the comment because what I found that he was saying was absolutely true. It was absolutely one of those moments where we just need to get crystal clear on who we're called to be in spite of the circumstances. Who we're called to be in spite of the circumstances. Folks, it's not about It's not about being kind when people are being kind. It's not about being above reproach when everyone else is being above reproach. It's not about doing exact business standards, holding your customer service even to that standard. It's not about just having great customer service when the customers are great. Can somebody write that down, please? It's not about having great customer service when the customers are great. It's about having great customer service. It's not about being fair and equal and loving and kind. When people are being fair and equal and loving and kind to you, it's about being fair, loving, and kind. It's not about being generous when people are generous with you. It's about being generous. It's not about having standards in your business when other people show you great standards. It's about having great standards. Thanks, Bobby Joe. Folks, if we get this clear, if we can get this clear this week, I really want you to just focus this week. If we can get this clear this week, where we just go, the bottom line is, maybe it's time that I just start acting the way I'm supposed to act, regardless of how other people treat me, regardless of how other people act, regardless of what's going on in the environment or in society around us. Maybe it's just time that we just say now is the time for me to act, be, think, believe the way I'm supposed to, in spite of all the other things, all the other distractions, all the things that are catching our attention, saying, no, don't do that. Oh, you should be angry about that. Did you hear that? I mean, how many people are in your ear going, hey, did you hear that? Man, you should say something about it. You should do something about that. I know I've got them. I've got people that'll do it. And I've got to remember, if it's not, it's the thing that I keep teaching that my friend taught me several years ago. If it's not moving me in the direction of my goals or my mission, then I've got to treat it like it doesn't exist. If it doesn't move me in the area of furthering and reaching my mission, then I've got to look at it from the standpoint of it doesn't exist. It's not part of the mission. If it does move me towards the mission, it moves me away from it. And so, folks, what if we started thinking about that? And, I got to tell you, Glenn is one of those guys that has done this very, very well. Glenn extends grace even when people have not extended him grace. Glenn is very good about holding back judgment. And, Glenn being in the public eye gets, I'm sure his share of criticism, his share of people, saying this or saying that. And I have never, ever, ever seen Glenn demonstrate anything other than grace, professionalism, love, even when things aren't always on the his life has just as many turns as yours and mine does. But I'll tell you this, he's always extended love and grace. And that's a huge testament to who he is, not what he does. But I got to tell you, folks, the more I think about this comment from President Tom Kirkman, played by Kiefer Sutherland on Designated Survivor, when asked why he doesn't fight fire with fire like the other people, like they're not extending scruples to him, why isn't he? And he says, because I'm the president of the United States and I respect this office. And I want to ask you this week, would it be possible for you to just think about that before you make a decision, before you do something, before you respond to somebody or react to somebody, comment, or This is something I'm going to hold myself to this week, and I want to see if you'll follow suit on this, about just saying, is this the way that I want to be perceived? You know, my friend Wesley Gu, we have coffee every week, Wednesdays, for a couple hours every week. And last week we were talking, or a couple of weeks ago, we were talking about how, what's the thing I asked him, what's the thing that you've been working on the most this year? And we started sharing, and I told him one of my things is temperament. To try and have a different level of temperament, which really requires me to bite my tongue sometimes. It requires me to laugh things off sometimes. It requires me to stop, listen. It just does. And so what I want to encourage you is this week, I want to ask you to work on this thing. Work on this thing that says that no matter how someone is being, or no matter what the circumstances are, or no matter how the naysayers are talking about you, or even your family members, you're trying to start a business and your family members are telling you, hey, it won't work. You are headed in one direction and they're trying to get you to veer off and go to another direction, whatever that is. I just want to encourage you to think, think like the character Tom Kirkman in Designated Survivor. He said, the reason I'm not playing like they are is because I'm the president and I respect the office. And you can't say you're the president, but you can say you're the president of the company. You can say you're the president of your life. What if you just did that? What if you said, I'm the president of my life, I'm the CEO of my life, and I respect the office. Therefore, I'm not going to behave and just act like everybody else acts. I'm not going to fight fire with fire. I'm not going to do these. I'm going to respect the office, even if it's the CEO of my life. Respect the office. You know, we got some great people online right now. We've got Paul Bergman, pastor up in Ojai, amazing gentleman, does a lot with drug addicted people, does a lot with, homeless. I mean, he's just an amazing brother. You got Glenn, who I've already talked about. You got Dennis Namella, who does a lot with helping young entrepreneurs. Guys, and I've right here, Dennis, Glenn saying it's coming your birthday. So absolutely happy birthday. Glenn, happy birthday. I wish I had been with you. I didn't realize it was your birthday that day. But guys, we got Bobby Joe on, Zeb Ferguson, Brenda Gardner-Jones, Steve Self-Miller, Sean Roxby Sorensen. Folks, we have some people on here that are really cool people. And I'm blessed to call you my friends. But I'm also blessed and privileged with the opportunity to lead this every week. And I know this week we got a little bit of a late start because of the technical difficulties, but I just want to tell you that the bottom line is this. We're called to act a certain way regardless of how other people act. We're called to act a certain way regardless of how other people act. And when I heard that statement from Tom Kirkman on Designated Survivor, it struck a chord with me. I don't do that. I do it this way because I respect the office. And I want to ask you this week, how about if we just say, I respect the office of CEO of my life. I respect the office of CEO of my relationship. I respect the office of CEO of my business. Wow. How would we behave differently? How will we behave differently when we decide that we respect the office so much that we refrain from doing things that are reactionary? We refrain from doing things that are to get back at, or to get even with, or to get up on, to get back at, to get even with, or to get up on. What if we just start saying, I am the president of my life, of my relationship, of my health, of my business. I am the president, and I respect the office. What will it look like when you start respecting the office you hold in your life? That's the question. So, guys, I want to extend an opportunity for you to share your thoughts and things like that. But I am extremely honored that you guys were on even today when we had some technical difficulties. Love you guys, appreciate you, and so excited for the things that are going on. And I hope you guys can see all the great things that are happening around you and step in to be a part of it by taking the leadership position of being the president and respecting the office. So, thanks, brother. Thank you. Thank you. So the real birthday. Oh, that's why I didn't know the birthday. Okay. Cool. I didn't even see it pop up or anything. So I was like, okay, awesome. Well, it was, I really was bummed that I missed Friday. So awesome. Congratulations. You say the same birthday, April 24th. Awesome. I didn't know that. Okay. So guys, get out there, make this week a great week. Get out and enjoy your next level and impact the world in the way that only you can impact the world. Do not make any misnomer about this. Do not make any mistake about this. There are people that can only be impacted by you. And they're waiting for you to show up. So enjoy your next level.